These are sometimes called box plots and sometimes called box and whisker plots. The reason they're called box and whisker plots is because they've got a box in the middle and it looks like the box has whiskers. They are, however, not as cute as cats. So, anyway, I digress. The idea of a box and whisker plot is that it shows you the pertinent points of the data. So when you've got a box and whisker plot, it'll look something like that. Okay. The extreme left-hand side is always the minimum value of the data. The extreme right-hand side is always the maximum value of the data. The line in the middle is the median value of the data. So far, so good. We know all these. We can work these out. The other two are called the lower quartile and the upper quartile. Now remember that the median is the midway point of the data. That doesn't mean it's midway between the minimum and the maximum value. It means it is the middle data point. So if you had 9 people, the 5th person is in the middle, they are the median. The lower quartile is 1/4 of the way through the data, so 25%. And the upper quartile is 3/4 of the way through the data, so it's a 75% data point. So you could say that's 0%, 25%, 50%, 75% and 100% of the data. Okay, so let's have a look at these people. So the median time for the boys. So this is the boys on top. Don't know why they're there. That's not fair, but there you go. So that's 2.12. 2.2. So we're literally just reading straight off the scale. Upper quartile time for the girls. So this is the girls. Upper quartile is this one, 3.5. Range of time for the girls. The range of time is obviously the distance between the biggest and the smallest, the minimum and the maximum, which is 2.2 and 4.1. That's 1.9 of a gap in total. You can work it out on a calculator if you want to, but trust me. Interquartile range. Now that's not the full range. That literally means the range between the quartiles. They're basically inside the box. So 1.5 is this one here, and then this one here is 2.9. So what's the difference there between 1.5 and 2.9? It's 1.4. Who plays sport most on average? Boys, girls, or equal? Now, average, which of those values is an average? Minimum, lower quartile, median, upper quartile, maximum. Median, that is the average. The average, we must look at the median. The median of boys is 2.2 hours. The median of the girls is 2.9 hours. So who plays sport more? The girls. This is one of those questions that's really easy to do on a computer, but I can't slide these. So the idea is that we use our cumulative frequency graph, which always looks like a children's slide. So it should start off a little bit shallow and then go steep and then go shallow again at the bottom. Some of them look more like death slides, but they should always be nice and smooth. Try and draw them smoothly in an exam. You need a ruler for this part. That would have been a good idea to get prepared, wouldn't it? Okay, here it is. So, the minimum and the maximum people's weights. So, what's the minimum weight they could have been? Well, this is the smallest bit, isn't it? So that's 105. So that I should have got rid of that. Never mind. Try and ignore the black bit there. So 105, which is about there. That's my minimum. Okay. You'd have graph paper to do this on, but I haven't. And my tallest possible person, my heaviest possible person was 200 pounds. They're right over here. Okay, they should be in line and they're really low. But you've got graph paper and I haven't. In fact, you've got a slidey thing and I haven't. So those are the two easy ones. We can see those straight away, and sometimes we're actually told them in the question. So we now want the median person, the middle person. Now we don't go halfway up the graph because the graph goes up to 80, the axis goes up to 80, but we've only got 60 people. So halfway through 60 people is person number 30. So I'm going to go, person number 30 is here on the graph, and they weigh about 158 kilos. Now remember what I said? The lower quartile is 1/4 of the way up. So what is 1/4 of 16? Well, that's person number 15. You can do the slidey thing, but if you're in an exam, you draw the lines like I'm doing now. 145, I think that's pretty much 145 there. So we draw on your graph paper, or drag on your slidey thing, the lower quartile. You see, I'm not joining anything up yet, I'm just drawing lines which should match up. If I had a graph paper, they would match up, but they don't. And then finally, I need the rest of my box. I need my upper quartile. So that's 3/4 of the way through the people, which is person number 45. Person number 45, step right up, and you weigh how much? I would say bang on, really. 170. So that's where my upper quartile is. I got green on my yellow. Then, of course, you would have done all this in pencil, because you always draw in pencil. You first of all draw your box, which should be a nice rectangular box, not whatever the hell that is, and then give your box some whiskers. I have a very intoxicated box and whisker plot. The box and whisker diagram, this box and whisker diagram shows weights of people in a different town. So what it wants us to do is to compare the two. Which has heavier people on average. Remember, average always means median. So this median is here, this median is here. Which one's heavier? Town A. Because they've got a bigger median. Be careful, when it's faster, what's better? A bigger median or a smaller median? Smaller, because faster means less time. Then we have interquartile range. We don't even need to necessarily work this out sometimes, we can just look at it. So if I look at this one here, my interquartile range is from there to there. So that's 20 and a bit, okay? But here my interquartile range is from there to there. And the interquartile range is the box, which is 20. So which has a greater interquartile range, which has got a bigger box? Again, it's town A. If you're ever asked to compare in an exam, and you just say, for example, town A has a larger median, you won't get any marks. You need to say, town A has a larger median, which shows that on average the people are heavier. So you need to make the statement about the data, and then you need to relate it to a context. So talk about whether it means they're faster, or heavier, or lighter, or shorter, or taller, or whatever. Make sure you always bring it back to the data and in context.